79. That's the number that we are at on 55 and 5. Ian Riccaboni, Cary Silkin, AJ from Bisson Creative Web Design. Our producer is here. Cary, we're going through all 121 of the 1955 Parkhurst set.
Scratching our way to 80.
We're getting close.
Hope you got a good one for me today.
Well, we had a
I
ghost.
was waiting for some female wrestlers, some little people.
Buddy Rogers.
Yeah, some big names that you've been promising me. So maybe this is one of them.
Well, we have an individual that may have wrestled after he passed away, according to Cage Match. So every once in a while, we run into these results. Ran into that gentleman who we thought may have wrestled from 49 to 84. We confirmed he did not. I don't know if you remember a couple weeks ago. It turned out to be just a man with the same name. I think that's the case here because I'm going to show the fans this gentleman. And he had a nice career, real long career, 32 to 56. But in 1957, he passed away. But somebody with the same name wrestled in 61, and there's some
Crazy
confusion.
hair.
Yeah. Cary, can you tell me anything about Herb Parks?
Probably the heir of the Parkhurst.
The Parker.
Well, I wish I could.
Yeah.
They used to say the Beatles had long hair.
Yeah. They didn't.
I mean, his hair.
Oh, it's very messy.
It's messy.
It's messy, yeah.
I'm diving in your net, my man.
Yeah, we got the safety net here. Really interesting career.
Okay.
He, from 32 to 56, he was primarily in Oregon. And he was one of the mainstays in Oregon and traveled occasionally.
4 years in Oregon.
Yeah. Traveled occasionally. Did Canada, did Western Canada quite a bit. But really was just kind of the mainstay, kind of the gatekeeper guy in Oregon for 24 years. Really interesting to note, though, he's credited by some in the development of a very famous wrestler who was also there in the mid 40s. Do you know who that might be?
Well, you got to give me a little clue.
Cream of the crop.
Luthez?
No. George Wagner.
Oh,
Gorgeous George. And Herb Parks had a lot of matches against Gorgeous George, against George Wagner in particular, before George picked up the full persona.
And we've mentioned this. George Wagner was a very accomplished wrestler.
Right. So he was in Oregon applying his craft and just trying to wrestle there and make money. And Herb Parks is one of the guys that along the journey wrestled George quite a bit in Oregon. The oddball situation, the articles I found said this man, Herb Parks, passed away in 1957. However, there are results from 1961 saying Mr. Parks competed.
There had to be another Herb Parks.
Had to have been another Herb Parks. I think that's the case. I don't think he came back from the dead. I think that's safe to say. Or it could be the opposite, where a different Herb Parks died. And these aggregation sites, they're great. They do their best. Cage Match, Pro Wrestling Database. Could be the opposite, where maybe somebody with the same name, Herb Parks, died, and maybe this Herb Parks did have a match. And
as we mentioned before, when one site prints something, the other ones copy it.
Right.
So
it perpetuates.
If it's incorrect information, it just continues down the line of incorrect information.
I do have an interesting note about his brother. His brother was Bill Parks.
Reggie Parks?
No, unfortunately not. Reggie, who's still alive.
Or was it Chris Parks?
No, but we should ask. Maybe there's some relation. His brother Bill was an accomplished wrestler, a little bit more accomplished than Herb. Had a little bit bigger of a name and run. Do you know the move his brother Bill is credited with inventing?
I don't know.
The sunset flip.
Really?
Yeah. So Herb Parks, the brother of the man that is credited with inventing the sunset flip,
which is like, equivalent to hammerlock.
Yeah, that's a staple.
Full Nelsons.
Yeah, it's a staple in wrestling. So I'm surprised it wasn't around sooner. But Bill got his start in the 40s, 43 I have. And that's super interesting about Bill. Fortunately for Herb, a little confusion to this day about whether or not he wrestled after his death. So I know the great historians like Greg Oliver might have some more info. Greg actually had a great piece on Bill and only had a tidbit about Herb. So maybe we'll chat up Greg and see if he's got anything on Herb.
Well, very interesting. I mean, he had a legit career.
He did. 24 years.
Alive.
Right. Yeah. And it's kind of admirable in those days. You had to be doing something right to be able to stick in the same place and not venture too far away and still be welcomed by the fans.
All right. Well, hopefully nothing's wrong with Herb Parks, that's for sure. But hopefully number 80 is going to be a solid name that I could really show my...
You know what? You'll know this one, but not by the name that's on the card.
All right, at least if I know something.
You'll know this one, but not... He wrestled under a couple names, so...
Right.
You'll know him by the name on the card. I'm going to call it. Okay. It'll be a fun one. Number 80 is coming your way tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern. These premiere on YouTube. We hope you join us then. So for our producer, AJ, Cary, I'm Ian. Thanks for watching, everybody.